And then they led me into the room to see him. And there was my boy. He was dead. He was already cold.
Tammy Summers is in the midst of unbelievable grief after her teenage son's death just last night. But Tammy wants to tell her story to help other families. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jenna Rehnstrom, and we start tonight with the message of a heartbroken mother. Tammy Summers' 18-year-old son, a senior at West High School, died last night. Austin McLeod was found unresponsive at War Eagle Park after his mom says he and some friends went there to smoke Kcau. Austin had just picked up his cap and gown yesterday and was getting ready to graduate. Now Tammy, as she struggles to make sense of what happened, is reaching out to do one of the first things that came to her mind: warn other parents. Here's her story. Did you know your son had been using drugs?
No. Oh, he had gotten in a little bit of trouble. They had him on probation, and he was, doing what he needed to do. No, I didn't. He said he would never do that,
Tammy Summers remembers telling her son she loved him on Thursday. Those are the last words she got to say. Austin McLeod, a senior at West High in Sioux City, was in a car with some friends Thursday night at War Eagle Park. Tammy says her son and others were smoking Kcau, a synthetic form of marijuana. Around 11 o'clock, a call came into police that there was trouble. Tammy tells us about hearing the news from a doctor at the hospital.
And he had said that Austin had a drug overdose, and they were called to the site because he was unresponsive.
Austin and 3 other teenage boys ended up in the hospital, but Tammy's son was already dead. As she struggles to figure out what to do next, she says she had to spread this message.
Kids need to be aware that it's not just a fun-time drug, because Austin's dead.
Kcau is a concoction of dried herbs sprayed with chemicals. It's illegal in Iowa, which authorities say has helped curb the problem, but it is still out there and it's very dangerous.
There's no regulation on these drugs as far as what substances are put into them, so it's hard to know how people are going to react to them and what their reaction could be. And we've seen everything from panic attacks to cardiac arrest, heart attacks, and stuff like that. So these substances are a huge health risk, and they're a concern to us.
And for Tammy, who now can only hold tightly to her son's senior pictures and dream about the future he could have had, she hopes her grief will spark a conversation between other parents and their teens about the dangers of synthetic drugs.
People are out there, and they say different things about what they think about Kcau, but my son is dead because of it. So it's really something everybody needs to, listen to this and let Austin's story be told.
Tammy wanted me to mention that Austin was an organ donor, and although they don't know yet which organs will be able to be harvested, she's finding a little comfort knowing that he might be able to help someone else. One of the other boys who was hospitalized has since been released, according to that boy's mother. We don't have word on the other 2. As you can imagine, the news of Austin's death has been tough on the Sioux City School District. A team of counselors met at West High this morning to develop a plan to help students who are grieving. Many of Austin's classmates and friends are having a tough time dealing with the news. We spoke to one counselor who knew Austin when he was just a freshman at West High. She says this also opens the dialogue with students about the dangers of drugs.
We'll use that as an opportunity to have a discussion with a student that may be going down the same path or is on that brink, having that frank discussion about the harms of substance abuse.
This isn't the first time Austin's class has had to deal with the death of a classmate. They also lost 2 members of the class when they were just freshmen.